said Flint, reaching for the doorknob. I opened my mouth to tell him not to bother, not wanting to intrude in her private space, but the door was locked. He rattled the knob. Damn it, why would she lock it? Maybe to keep her boundary-challenged employer from walking in on her private space, I thought. Flint looked dumbfounded, as though he couldn't imagine a door failing to open upon his command. It's all right, I said. I'll ask Egypt if I can take a peek when I see her next. There are plenty of things to do first. We should go. I know you're a busy man. So, how soon can you start? Flint asked as we descended the stairs. He had offered to take the elevator, but I declined. This was earthquake country after all. No way was I going to risk getting stuck in an elevator in a haunted house with Andrew Flint. The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. Here's the code for the lockbox, and I'll let Egypt know you might be here, tomorrow? I'd like to stop by tomorrow to scope things out, but it will take a while to get things started in earnest. Don't forget, I'll need to pull some permits to renovate the renovations. Anything you need me to sign, just let me know. I've got connections at City Hall who can expedite things if you run into bureaucratic nonsense. The sooner this gets taken care of, the better. Every day this house sits on the market costs me money. If need be, I'll pay you to put your other projects on hold until this one gets done. I don't leave projects half done, Andrew, but I understand your sense of urgency. I'll get on it as soon as humanly possible, I promise. I'll have my office manager, Stan Tomasi, fax a contract to your office. And in the meantime, I'd like to speak with Chantel and to the remodeler who did the work on Crosswinds. Who was that? Skip Buhner. Buhner? Any relation to Carla Buhner, your realtor? Her husband. Ah. It's not as though I know everybody in the Bay Area housing industry, but ever since I took over Turner Construction temporarily from my father a few years ago, I had made a point of meeting the major players, our competition after all, in the high-end historic homes business. So either Skip Buhner was brand new to the area, or restoring historic homes wasn't his primary area of expertise. Then again, I could have guessed that. Based upon what I'd seen at Crosswinds, Buhner was a rip-it-out-and-buy-something-new-at-the-big-box store type of contractor. He would have lasted no more than 5 minutes tops trying to make a crooked door frame function before tearing out the hand-carved wood and replacing it with a brand-new fiberglass set. Skip's moved on to a new project, an office building on Sansom, Flint said. You want to talk headaches? Every time they dig, they uncover some old ship. Did you know that area's landfill from back in the Barbary Coast days? And then they have to halt construction and file environmental reports. Get some bleeding heart academic out there to excavate and document the discovery. Like anybody really gives a damn. Waste of time and money, you ask me. And just then, I noticed a photograph at my feet. I picked it up. Sepia-toned and crumbling with age, it was of a young woman standing at a window. It was hard to tell, but it might have been the window right here in the hall. The view outside was the same of the bay and Sausalito, but the iconic Golden Gate Bridge was missing. I hate those things, said Andrew. What, old photos? They appear here and there. It's like when my daughter Lacey was obsessed with glitter. Once it's in your house, you can never get rid of it. The photos just appear? He nodded. I think there were a bunch of them behind a wall somewhere, and since we started construction, they just turn up now and then. Crummy old things. Just throw it away. May I keep it? I asked. Why would you want it? I studied the photo in my hands. The young woman was lovely, with a cupid's bow mouth, her long hair pinned up in an elaborate bun. But the expression in her eyes was sad and yearning, and it felt as though she had something to tell me. Not a history buff, I take it, I finally said to Andrew when I realized he was awaiting a response. Never have been, he said with a quick shake of his head. It's the future that interests me. The past is gone, irrelevant. Unless, of course, that past is quite literally haunting you and keeping you from selling your obscenely priced home so you can golf in peace and retire to cocktails in your Bollinger, whatever that was. I felt almost triumphant that Andrew and I hadn't tripped over any bodies while walking through Crosswinds. I know, I'm getting stranger by the day. And certainly I worked on many houses where my biggest problem was a plumbing backflow issue or dry rot or earthquake bracing. But by and large, when I'm introduced to a house believed to be haunted, I tend to trip over bodies. Maybe with this house, I would be able to deal with renovation issues and ancient ghosts rather than any current homicides. Fingers crossed. I lingered outside the property in my Scion, sizing up the home's beautiful Victorian exterior while I placed a few calls. First things first.